Hi, I am finally back with my eyeshadow palette collection video. So for today, I am not gonna be decluttering so much because I would love to keep my palettes with me. And most of my eyeshadow palettes are from cbeauty, because that's what's most accessible to me. So I live in the Philippines and I buy most of my makeup from Shopee and Lazada. And Chinese brands are the most accessible to me. So that's why you will be seeing a lot of cbeauty and other Asian brands and some Western brands in this video. So without further ado, let's proceed to the first brand that I currently have here with me. So I will be going brand by brand, and later I will also show you some of my singles, my quads, and some of the palettes that brands that I currently have one palette. So yeah, so the first one in here is Beauty Glazed. Beauty Glazed is a cbeauty brand. I don't know if you have watched Anwen's a video before about Beauty Glazed containing talc, and the talc has like the talc tested positive for asbestos. I think that happened in 2020, and I remember throwing out some of my Beauty Glazed eyeshadow palettes because I didn't want to promote something that is harmful to people. But I went back, I checked, I bought palettes again from Beauty Glazed, and I have noticed the change in the formula and the way the eyeshadow feels. I would definitely say that they are not as pigmented, especially the shimmer shadows. They are not as pigmented like before, but I am really happy that they took a step and actually removed talc from their eyeshadow palettes. I'm not sure if they have also removed talc from their blush, but I am really happy that they took action and they stepped up their game. But I think the change is for the better, and their shimmers are feel more like of a putty texture. You know that cream to powder formula, like it feels creamy on the pan, but once you apply it, it feels like a powder. It's still pigmented. It's still like what's this? It's still like glimmery. It's still has that nice shine, but it's not as glittery and pigmented and amazing like before. But I still like this one. So I am blubbering too much now, so let me show you my Beauty Glazed collection as of now. So the first three I'm gonna show you are these ones from their chocolate line. I believe that this line, this series is heavily inspired by the Beauty Glazed obsession, something like light obsession something. So the first one I have in here is the truffle palette. Okay, so truffle palette, I believe this would have to be some sort of a dupe for the medium one. But I have noticed that these palettes are leaning more on the mauvey cool tone side versus the Huda Beauty ones, which leans more on the like their usual pinky warm nude shades. So this one it's more the pinky, and then we have mauve. Out of these 3 palettes, this is my favorite one from the line, and I will be keeping this one. So the next one in here is the brownie chocolate, and I believe that this is the some sort of a alternative or dupe for the like the dark one, like darkest palette that they have. But again, this line is more on that mauvey tones. I think the dark one from Huda Beauty is more of the dark, warm, chocolatey shades. But I really like this color story. So yeah, by the way, most of the palettes that I will be showing you today have their own swatch video, and I know that I cannot link everything on this video, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link the playlists that I created for the swatch videos, and just check the description box below. And then the last one that I have from the chocolate line is this almond chocolate, and I believe that this will be the alternative for the light obsession one, but as you can see, it's not the exact dupe. Like, I know that the light obsession one has this like lavender, like this matte lavender, like lavender shade, and this one does not have. But I still like this color story. It's more on the light mauvey rose goldy vibes, and I'm keeping this 3. I'm keeping all of my beauty glazed eyeshadow palette. So last year they have released new 9-pan eyeshadow palettes, but they are calling this their eye discs. So I only have 2, but I plan to buy the other 3 or 2, I think. But the ones I have in here are these. The first one in here is the smoky eye disc. I think that this line, the eye discs, are their original color story, because I have not seen the color the series, the color stories from the series from any of the mainstream brands. So yeah, this is the smoky. So this is like the gray with a pop of like a metallic like purple shade. So I've already hit pan on this because this palette has been in my Pando's eyeshadows, and as you can see, it has some sort of a shallow pan, but I like this more than I intended to. I just really like this color story, even this like super pale gray shade. I like this one, and I'm gonna keep all of my beauty glazed eyeshadow palettes because they are tag free. So yeah, this is the Silver Mist eyeshadow disc, and oh my god, this is like the cool toned eyeshadow palette of my dreams, because look at this one. Oh my god. this color story reminds me of the Ainsley Rain, Amy's palette. Like, yeah, Ainsley Rain, Amy's palette. But ER is currently on a controversy because of the things they have been doing on the internet. So yeah, we're not gonna talk about this brand, but if you happen to look for a nice cool toned story that is similar to Amy's palette, maybe this Silver Mist is an alternative. So yeah, this is the color story. This is by far the most unique cool toned eyeshadow palette I have seen in cbeauty. So I have used this once. I just used this once and I really like this palette, and I want to use it more so I can form a solid opinion. But so far I am loving the color story. And the last palette that I have from Beauty Glazed is this Metamorphosis Color Flame palette. So upon opening the palette, you will notice that this is heavily inspired by the Beauty Bay Age of Opulence palette, but that palette is no longer available, and this one is still available. So if you have missed that palette, maybe you can buy this one. I think they have added 2 more shades. I think no. Sorry. I think they have omitted 2 shades that were included in the original color story, but I think it's a pretty close dupe in terms of color story, and the mattes in here feel a little bit rough. So just gonna remind you of that before you purchase this palette. But I have 2 hit pins on this because this eyeshadow palette loves to be in my Pando's eyeshadows project. So yeah, next brand I'm gonna talk about is UCANBE. UCANBE is another cbeauty brand. It leans more on the affordable side, and I really love this brand. I think it's my top 2 brand from cbeauty. So yeah, the first one in here is the Marvel palette. This is already been gone for a few years now. So this is heavily inspired by the Huda Beauty, like the ruby palette. I'm not sure the exact name, but it's the 9 pan palette with the berries, with the berry tone shade. So this is heavily inspired by that, but I really like that they have this some sort of muted shades, because this is an approachable palette compared to the Huda Beauty one. So I have hit pen on 5 shades in this palette because this was my palette for 2023, but along the way I have stopped doing that because I got bored of using the same palette over and over again. So I just focus on my Pando's eyeshadows that year. If you have been wondering, I have been blogging, like a website before I have created this channel. So most of my Pando's eyeshadows journey, you would see them on my blog. So I will link down below my blog so you can check my posts, my cringy posts. So the next ones that I'm gonna show you is from their I'm gonna call this their medium-sized palettes. So like the ones in this plastic container. I think this particular line, they have a private label this ones, because I have seen other cbeauty brands having this exact same palette. So yeah, but this taro milk tea, I haven't seen other brands selling this one. So as you can see, I think this is heavily inspired by the Huda Beauty. I don't know if it's the rose quartz, the ones with the pinks and the light purples, lavenders. Sorry for the interruption. I thought my phone stopped recording. So I have to check. So going back, this is heavily inspired by the Huda Rose Quartz eyeshadow palette. By the way, this line, the ones with this packaging, with the plastic packaging in this medium-sized palette of UCANBE, are the best quality they have so far by experience. And so yeah, by experience. I just wish that they didn't put like three. I don't need three beige shadows in a palette, because that's redundant and it's a waste of space for another matte shadows. So I am keeping this one because it's like a nice mid-toned, light to mid-tone eyeshadow palette. But I still like this one because it has this two dark matte eyeshadows that I can use as like a day to night eyeshadow palette. So the next palette in here, I'm covering this one because I don't want to blind you guys with the reflection of my ring light. So this one is the Rose palette. This is a cool toned eyeshadow palette that contains mostly like light mauves. Yeah, at the first glance you would think that this is like a boring ashy palette, but when I use this one, I actually like this because I can form looks like icy, smoky looks, like what's the term, like soft smoky looks. So how I use this palette is I would pair the shadows by column, because each column is giving a color story, but of course you can mix and match, you know. I know a lot of people don't like this one, but I really like this one, and I think it's a nice alternative for the Huda Beauty, like their latest palette, the icy nude whatever. But this one came first. This one came out in 2023, so I would say that the Huda Beauty is inspired by this palette. It's just a joke, guys, okay? It's just a joke. Please don't come for me. So yeah, keeping this one. And then this next palette is the Light Chocolate. This is from their first release back in 2020. So in their first release is the only palette that I got, and as you can see, the packaging is already broken because I had this since 2020. So this is an all matte palette, but it has different tones of neutral shades. We have some mauvey shades, we have some warm browns, I have a gray, I have a dark gray, so I really like this as a companion palette. And as you can see, I have hit 2 shadows in this palette because I think the shadow is included in one of my Pando's eyeshadows, and then this one is just an organic pan because I loved using this on my eyebrows back when I used eyeshadows on my eyebrows, but I don't do that anymore. Is this? Oh, I thought it was a mold, but it's not a mold. It's just dirt from using too much. And then the last palette I have from UCANBE is this Magic Spell eyeshadow palette, and this palette is heavily inspired by the Lime Crime Venus, the ones with the greens and pinks. I forgot what number that was. So they first brought this one in 2020, then they discontinued. I think they stopped selling this, and then in 2023 they sold this again. And I was worried that this one manufactured in 2019, but it's actually manufactured in 2023, so it's a fairly fresh palette. I would say that the shimmers in this palette is not that impactful compared to the ones they have from this line and from the Marvel palette, but I still like this one. I just really don't like the mattes in here because this shadow, usually I would use this one as a transition shade, but it does not show up on my lids. It just fades away. So color story wise, this is like my least favorite from the brand because I only got like 5 mattes, and I think the looks I will be forming from this palette will be limited. That's why this is my least favorite palette from the brand, but I love UCANBE overall as a brand. And then let's go with my Moira Beauty palettes because I only have 2. So if you're wondering how did I manage to get this palette, so a seller from China, I will link down her Shopee shop down below. I think it's called Kitty Glow. She actually purchases these palettes from the website, and then she sells them on her Shopee site. And I think she also taking requests from customers, like for example, she took request to buy from Glamlight, and then she will resell that palette to the customer that has ordered the palette. So I think it's a great way to save from shipping fee. I think it's a great way to save for shipping fee because if you directly buy from US websites, you would pay for like $50 in shipping fee, and that's not really practical. So that's why I appreciate this type of sellers that buy directly from the websites, and then they just like put maybe like additional $5 for the shipping fee, for the handling fee, and whatever fee. And I think it's fair for them and understandable on the customer's part. So yeah, I only have 2 palettes from Moira Beauty, and this is the most amazing colorful palette that I have. And I would have to say that the quality of the shimmers and the mattes on this line, this is the Moirland series is far more superior than the ones that they have from the Celestial series. So the Celestial series came first, and the shimmers are just like regular shimmers. They are not quite impactful than the ones from the Moirland series. And this is a unique color story for me, and this reminds me of the Bella. Oh no. Is it the Bella Beauty? No. It's the what's that? What's the brand? Blend Bunny. Sorry. It this color story kind of reminds me of the Blend Bunny, like sickly sweet. Is that how you call it? Because that palette has like pastels, and then they have some sort of dark mattes to complement the pastel shades. But I think this is more of a condensed version of that, and this one came out first before that palette. So I think this is a nice alternative if you like that chaotic arrangement of pastel shades. And then this one, as I have said, this is the Time to Shine palette from the Celestial series. It's more of like a neutral with pops of greens. These are just regular shimmers, but the mattes in here are good. So I am keeping both of these palettes because I think Moira is becoming one of my top brands for eyeshadows, especially with their formulas. And I don't own a lot of Western brands, and so I really love that this brand is affordable compared to the other indie brands from US. So yeah, keeping these two palettes. The next brand I have in here is the Gogo Tales. It's another cbeauty brand, but I think it's more on the mid-range, like in terms of price. So UCANBE is affordable. Beauty Glaze is affordable. But Gogo Tales, it's like, if you convert it in Philippine peso, maybe it's around like 200 to 300 and goes up like around 600 pesos. So both of these are really new to my collection. So I just bought Gogo Tales eyeshadows last year, and the first one I have in here, this is the palette that I was telling you guys that I was waiting for to arrive before I record this, before I film this video. So this is the Gogo Tales. I think this is their new series, the ones that they have like these cool tone, low saturation vibes. And so this palette, I'm looking for the box because I want to show you what the variant. So it's the palette G01. I don't think they have like particular names for the palettes, but this one is the light shadow impression. And I love the packaging of this one because it's like some sort of a forest with animals in the background. And the packaging of the Gogo Tales are like so phenomenal. So as you can see, it's so new, it's so untouched. But I swatched the shimmers, so yeah, this is like a low saturation vibes going on in here, but I think the mattes in here would be would be pigmented. So yeah, I have to make a swatch video of this palette, so I really don't have a solid opinion of this, but upon looking at this, I think this would have amazing quality like the ones from their Secret Garden collection. So the other palette that I have is the Van Gogh's Starry Sky palette. This one has this like the glitters. So yeah, I really love the packaging of the Gogo Tales because they look unique to me. They are made of plastic component, but they don't feel cheap, like comparing to the ones from UCANBE. This one doesn't feel cheap. And I have not used this palette yet. I have posted the swatch video back in October, and I still have not used this palette, but upon swatching this, I can definitely say that these are pigmented, and these two shimmers feel like liquid metallic. So yeah, I can definitely feel that Gogo Tales has amazing quality. So yeah, I'm keeping both of these palettes, and I plan to buy more because I am starting to really love Gogo Tales as a brand. And then the next set of palettes I have in here are the cheapest palettes I own. I think I have each palette was on sale for like 27 pesos in Lazada, and I have not imagined that these palettes would be really small. Like, can you see? It's so thin. It's so small. So this is the warm, like more the warm color story, and this is the cool tone one. And this is the all matte one. I have decided to give away this 3 to the daughter of my friend, because the daughter of my friend is really good at doing makeup, but she's still like in high school, but she does this amazing makeup looks, and she's the one who always inherit my discarded makeup items, and I have only swatched these ones, but I have not used them, so I'm just gonna sanitize these ones, and I'm just gonna give this to her, and I think she would really love this one because she practices a lot of makeup looks, and I think affordable palettes like this one would be put to good use. So the next ones I have in here would be from Focallure. So I have noticed that Focallure has discontinued like 90% of their eyeshadow palettes, and I think they are in the process of rebranding because I think most of their old palettes are private labeled, because I have also seen these palettes being sold by other brands. So I think they are rebranding and they are making their own stuff now. And I think they have an IG account, but for US customers, and I have seen that they are making like single eyeshadows, like duochromes, multichromes. So I hope that soon they would also put them on the Asian market, because I think they are targeting first the US and other Western countries. But hello, Asian people would also love to try your products, but please not too expensive. So the first one I have is this quad. I forgot the name, but it's something like pink peachy. So I have a hit pan on this one because this quad was in my Pando's eyeshadows last year, and I think I have to use this like 20 times before I hit pan on this eyeshadow. So this is not a really good in terms of quality, because these two shimmers are just so lackluster, and yeah, I am already used to using shimmers that are just impactful, and I think that I will also be getting rid of this one. I think I can still get this, but I just really don't like the quality of the shadows, and I think baby girl the daughter of my friend would love to have it. So, or maybe like other people that I know that also love makeup. I'm sorry, I am filming at 2:30 a.m. That's why I sound so like out of I'm sorry. Okay. Focus, Hannah, focus. Okay. So the next palette is the Sunrise Impressionism, and this palette is heavily inspired again by let me just so I can show you properly. So this palette, I think, is heavily inspired by the Huda Beauty like dusk, like the warm palette with the oranges and the pinks. I forgot the name, but yeah. So they actually made a big palette duping that one, and then they also made this 9-pan version, and I really like this more than the big one, so I bought this one and not that one. I don't like pressed glitters. They are my number one enemy in eyeshadow palettes because I don't like them. But imagine if this glitter would be transformed into a multichrome. I think this palette, this color story would be so perfect. And this is one of my favorite warm eyeshadow palettes, and I will never ever going to let go of this one. So I used this palette when I had a photo shoot for my 30th birthday, and I felt so pretty that day because this color story is giving that some sort of a like romantic vibes. So the next two I have in here is I think one of their first palettes they have ever launched, and this one is the Everchanging palette, and I think this is trying to do the Kylie Cosmetics Vacation palette. I think that's the one, but this palette is one of my favorites from the brand. The shimmers in here are so amazing. This is far better than the one in the bottom, so I will show you that in a while. But if you can still get this one, because I still see this floating around in other sellers, get this one, because I think this has already been phased out, but some sellers are still selling this one. So this one, the tropical vacation should be the name of this palette, and not this one, because this one is, as you can see, heavily inspired by the ABH Modern Renaissance palette. But this palette is really old, and the shimmers in here are just dry. This palette has been my favorite from the brand for a very, very, very long time, and I had this palette since 2018, so that would be like 6 to 7 years ago. So even though I cannot get this anymore, I have to get rid of this one because it's quite old, it's disgusting, and I just... Okay, so let me just blab about Patricta. So Patricta, like, you know, is so controversial right now because of the expensive duos, eyeshadow duos, and we know that some of these palettes are getting moldy, even if it's just opening after like a few months. And this palette, I had this for 6 years, and it's made by China, but it hasn't gone moldy or anything. So yeah, sometimes as an adult we have to make smarter choices and smarter decisions about where to spend our money, and I am one of those people who don't really care if my makeup is made by China. As long as it is functional, it's worth my money, and it doesn't get moldy after just a few months. And then the next two I have, this is from their travel series. I think they have designed this palette to be travel friendly, so this would be smaller than their regular large palette. So yeah, can you see the size difference? So yeah, the first one I have in here is the Tokyo. So their travel series are based on locations. I think Nomad is doing the same thing, but these palettes were released years before Nomads were doing their palette. So I have bought this one in 2020. Yeah, so this palette, the Tokyo palette, is inspired by the sakura flowers, the cherry blossoms. So this is a pretty much a warm palette with this random like cool toned glitter topper. So I really like the quality of this palette, and I really like the shimmers. I'm not a warm tone eyeshadow girly, but this palette is just so amazing, especially... Oh my god, I cannot speak. It's already 2:30 a.m. So the quality of this palette, the quality of the shimmers in this palette is amazing. And as you can see, I have hit pin one of the mattes because this was in my those eyeshadows back in 2020, and I really like this palette in general, and I will not let go of this. So this one, this is the Perth palette. This is from the first batch. So Focallure released first batch of this palette, and then Tokyo was in the second batch. So this is the Perth palette. So Perth is in Australia, and it's a rainbow palette. The quality of this shadow is not as good as the one in the Tokyo. So the shimmers in here are just your regular shimmers, and they are not that pigmented, they are not that glimmering. But yeah, I still really like this palette, and I will not ever let go of this one, because this palette is my first like rainbow palette, and this holds a lot of memories. So yeah, I'm not letting go of this one like ever. So yeah, so the last two palettes from Focallure are the ones in here. So let me go first with the Sunset palette. So yeah, this palette reminds me of the Urban Decay Toasted. You know, the ones with the warm toasty vibes. So yeah, I have bought this just last year. No. I think December 2023, and I have hit pan on this since this shade was in my those eyeshadows from last year, and I was so surprised that I have hit pan on this just 4 times after using this. As you can see, it has a shallow pan. So yeah, but I like this palette. It has a good formula compared to the other ones, and I think this is my top 2 palette from Focallure, so I'm keeping that one. And then this one, this is my one of my favorites from the brand. This is the Sweet as Honey, and I think it's their original color story, and I have said this a lot of times already in my blog and in my previous videos. This palette is the inspiration for the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. So this palette came out like December 2018, and the Huda Mercury Retrograde was like in 2019. So if you open this one, the color story would remind you of Huda Beauty, but Huda Beauty put more colorful mattes. And this one is more on the like the pinky mauve mattes with colorful shimmers. So this is my I know I have said that Everlasting is my top 1 from Focallure, but this one is my this one is my top 1 from Focallure. As you can see, I have a lot of pens in here. I have used this so many times. I have used this in many of the events like special events that have happened in my life, and the quality is still good. Like the shimmers in here are like the putty, like it has this putty consistency, but they still perform like when I first got this palette. So I'm gonna keep this palette forever and ever. As long as it does not get moldy, I will keep.